What's up, good people? It's your boy Timo with the dance moves.
And it's Tim, the popcorn player.
All right. And we want to thank you for joining us here on Banana Juice. We about to get this thing popping. This week's episode is brought to you by Crystals. That's right, Crystals. It's just a little diarrhea. Now, let's go ahead and get into these throwaways.
Oh, I love trash.
Donald Trump welcomed home his wife in a beautiful tweet from the hospital. And it was really one of those moments where you just really realize, like, deep down, he really does care about his wife.
Melanie.
My God, you had one job. Just send a tweet about your wife and spell her name correctly. Like, what?
He didn't even look again for the whole thing. It was just, okay, this looks about right. And just to look and see if it was like a spelling error, I looked on the keyboard on my phone. I looked on the keyboard on a computer, and the A and the E aren't even on the same row.
Yeah.
Not on the same row.
That had to have been intentional. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he was thinking about Melanie, who was at the White House while Melania was at the hospital.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Is Melanie the girl from the P tape? Maybe. We don't know.
It's false news.
It's fake
news.
Look,
whatever.
Oh, speaking of possible fake news, but probably not. You live long enough to see your heroes become villains. Morgan Freeman is accused of sexual assault. I don't know if it's assault or if it, because what I was reading, it was more so just what do you call it? Like flirting, being very inappropriate, but not actually forcing himself on women. But 8 women accused him of it.
Jeez.
Yeah, one said that, and this goes back to 2016. So these ain't no cold cases.
So this old Morgan Freeman. This ain't lean on me Morgan Freeman.
No.
It's like,
get the chains off your drawers and come into my bedroom. No, it wasn't those Johns. This is I'm doing old man movies. Morgan Freeman. Like this is
like
after
I'm doing voiceovers.
Yes.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, this was after March of the Penguins. This was after
That was Samuel L. Jackson that did March of the Penguins.
Did Samuel L. Jackson do March of the Penguins?
No, Farce of the Penguins.
Yeah, you think about Farce of the Penguins. I'm about to say, what?
Right when you said that, I just started to think, and the days turn to nights,
and the nights to days. Go watch that if you haven't. But yeah, so this another icon being taken down by his own mannish ways. Allegedly.
More like I cannot dodge these charges that are brought to me.
Yeah, because they about to come for him pretty hard. Just like he came for them. So, finally, the royal wedding was last weekend? This week? This week. It was this week.
Yeah.
We know what day it is. Don't question us. We know what day it is. So the royal wedding was this week. Very nice. A lot of celebrities were there. Oprah was there. Elton John was there. Serena was there. I'm guessing Howie Mandel was there from the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, from when the old girl used to hold the cases for the show. Mandel. I don't know who Howie Mandel is.
I don't either.
But yes, and the culture was definitely in the building. They had a black choir sing "Stand By Me," which was, I think, a very good compromise, because you had a black choir singing I don't think that's so much a black song.
I think it is.
You think it is?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know a lot of black people singing "Stand By Me."
It was a Motown song.
Was it? Who sang it originally? BK, who sang "Stand By Me"? See, y'all couldn't even tell me who sang it.
Yeah, I feel like Sam Cooke
Sam Cooke saying stand by. No, he just did the
it
I was
may-
born by a
it was
Who was it?
yeah.
Who? Bill Willis.
Bill Withers.
Bill Withers. Oh. Oh. Okay, so yeah. A black choir sang a black song. There you go. No, it wasn't Bill Withers.
It was sang by like a black person. I know that for a fact.
Okay. Well, I will take your word for it and Google it on my own time. But who got a lot of attention from that whole thing was the minister, the black minister who performed the wedding. A lot of people on Twitter were very, very, very excited to hear him speak. Reverend Curry is his name. They were like, "Yo, this is great. This is awesome." But when you read the room, people were not feeling it for real. The Royals were not feeling it. They were ready for it to end, which is one thing that I have noticed. The weddings that are for the culture, they last quite a long time, like a really long time. We probably have more traditions than wedding traditions than any other race that I know of. Because I'm telling you, some of the other weddings I've been to, you in, you out, and the party is what lasts a long time. But the actual wedding, you talking about 15, 20 minutes max. Max. It takes longer for the people to walk down there than for them to do the vows.
Now, I don't know because I don't know what all are in certain traditions. Like the Jewish tradition, I don't know what all is in that. So
look, all I see from there was when the Jewish receptions, them folk be getting down. Like, I be like, yo, I just want to go. Somebody please invite me to a Jewish wedding. Because I just want to go to the reception and, like, they're going to be dancing in that thing.
Like, they know how to party.
They know how to party.
It looks like they have a really good time.
Yes.
So hey.
But yeah, so it was a success. She looked great in her dress. They were looking at each other very lovingly, and it was just all around really, really great, really, really super. Wasn't a lot of mess in that throwaway, but it is what it is. So those were your throwaways.
I love them because they're trash.
All right, I'm glad there wasn't a lot of mess in that last throwaway because there is a lot of mess in this main squeeze. Like a ridiculous amount of mess. So the title of this week's episode is Consequences, Repercussions. All right. So first, let's start talking about the consequences of not treating your customers right, I guess.
Well, okay. So what was this? This was in Canada. As a matter of fact,
man,
it was at a Tim Hortons. So this lady came in wanting to use the restroom. Now, granted, they have a history with this lady.
Like history as in somebody used to date her?
No, as in like she had been coming to the establishment a lot before.
Okay, so she's a regular.
Well, yeah.
That's going to be funnier when you hear the end of this story.
She's a regular problem starter.
Yeah. A habitual line crosser.
So apparently she had been messing up their restrooms and just not making it a safe environment.
Them Crystal Burgers will get you every time.
Not making it a safe environment at Tim Hortons. So when she came in this one day, trying to use the restroom, they denied her from having the right to use the restroom because of her past behavior. So she got upset and she went over to the side of the cash register, got some napkins, pulled down her pants in front of the register, and proceeded to take a hot, steamy dump right in front of the cashier.
What?
Doesn't stop there. She then picked up her dump with her napkins and flung it towards the kitchen area.
Oh, that's not sanitary.
Um,
Oh, that's so gross.
then after that, she wiped and flung that
Oh my goodness.
towards the kitchen area. She then pulled up her pants and said, "I'll see you tomorrow."
I see. Oh, that might be the most ridiculous part about this whole story. I'll see you tomorrow.
I just,
Oh, what? What is this
I
world coming
just-
to? First of all, let me say this, and it's going to be shocking what I'm going to say. I do not blame her. I blame the people who sat there, watched her pull her pants down, watched her take a dump, and then what? You saw her do that. You saw her do that. What you do is when you see her squat, you're like, oh, no. When you go for the pants, you should have known what was about to happen. You should have ran up there and sweep the legs. You're like, zoop.
first of all, I'm
Hit
going
that
to say
flow.
this. I'm going to say this. I am not against them because, number one, the cashier, he got out the way. If you see somebody that's crazy enough to, like, take a dump in front of you, that's probably somebody you don't even need to mess with.
But she's in a vulnerable position at that point.
Is
like
she?
you got your pants like below. Like, if I sweep your legs, you're down there. You're in your own feces. If you go ahead and start going,
Y'all, that was premeditated. She came to Tim Hortons knowing that she was going to take a dump.
she's not in the floor.
That's not the first. Whose mind does that really come up in your mind that I'm going to do this? I'm like that is not a split decision you make. That ain't something that you improv to. Like, you about to fling some crap at somebody.
I think that was
Like that.
I think that was very I think it was emotionally driven. I don't think she thought that through. Well, I don't know, because the fact that she wiped afterwards shows that, one, she's a lady. She's a lady. So no matter how crazy she is a lady. She still wiped. What's trifling is she didn't wash her hands afterwards. Because you done pooped, you done wiped, now it's time to wash your hands. Like, that's horrible.
I'm just saying, she knew the exact spot she was going to take that dump, you all. Like, she went right there. She knew that she would have a place to rest her back. Like, she planned this out. Like that. First of all, I know when I have to take a dump.
Yeah, that's why she went to ask to use the restroom.
No. Like, she specifically went to Tim Hortons and she knew that she had a problem there. It can't just be the staff knows that they have a problem with you and you don't know that you have a problem. Out of all the other establishments in Canada, she wanted to go to Tim Hortons. The same Tim Hortons that she had been having a problem with before. Now, I don't know about y'all, but she seemed like she was a woman on a mission. And that mission was to give them a piece of what was coming out of her behind.
You can say doo-doo.
It was not. It was not to use their restroom, because if you have like history of like messing up the toilet, like, how can they deem that you're unsafe, but you not know that you're unsafe?
But But here is where I blame the people. You saw her come in. If you know she's not gonna use the restroom, you should have said, no, you got to get out. We saw what you did to the toilet last time.
That's what they
We
did.
saw what you did. You don't, no, but they should have physically removed her from the place. Not she grabbing napkins and then go to the wall to take a squat. Are you serious?
If they wanted to keep their job, that's why they didn't put their hands on her.
Look, my job ain't worth doo-doo being flung at me. You can keep that job.
Well, they got a raise. Young Dolph paying should play some Young Dolph in Tim Hortons. Better get that 10,000 real quick.
I mean, that would have been a better story. Oh, speaking of just flinging crap out there and expecting people to take it, Nicki Minaj performed on SNL this this past weekend, and Twitter was not happy. Twitter was not happy at all. She performed her single Chung Lee, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But she performed Chung Lee and some other trash song, and she came out. Had the chopsticks in her hair. They had Chung Lee's outfit. Had the Chinese background and all that stuff. And so people in Twitter were saying like, "Hey, this is cultural appropriation, Nicki. You are really violating." Nicki, you just cannot catch a W, and that's sad. I feel for you.
It's funny to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's real funny. It's hilarious. Because, okay, the cultural appropriation thing, like, I'm not sure if that was necessarily cultural appropriation, but I will say this: people would have noticed less if you sucked less. Like, the performance was so trash. The song in itself, just, you could barely hear her. She was, like, just randomly yelling at the audience from time to time. It wasn't a good performance at all.
But I mean, that's Nicki Minaj. She's always been randomly yelling at people in the middle of her songs. That ain't nothing new.
But she was like randomly yelling at the audience. Like it was kind of aggressive. It was kind of weird. It's just, speaking of weird, her body is shaped super weird now. I don't know what doctor she got to work on her, but they are not finished. She is still a construction zone because there are some pieces of gravel that aren't where they need to be, and they need to be readjusted, but she's not looking good. But the whole thing is, she went up there. She has the song Chung Lee. She's performing kind of like she doesn't care, and it's really hard to see her get to a position where, look, we're kind of expecting great things from you, but you aren't giving us much to like cheer for or applaud. Even Chung Lee, while that's a good song, the title has nothing to do with the song.
It doesn't. I mean, I feel like she's more on this. She's the bad guy kick, and that's good and all. But when you say on the bad Chung Lee, I mean, if you're on the bad guy kick, why pick Chung Lee?
Chung Lee was not a bad guy. Chung Lee was not a bad guy. Chung Lee was literally a police officer. Literally a police officer. She was not a bad guy, so your song makes no sense. Like, you could have talked about kicking these rappers off their throne like Chung Lee. You could have done anything. You could have done anything, but
if you're gonna make a gaming reference, like refer to like gaming characters, make sure you know the game first. Like, don't just look at the character and be like, oh, that character's cute, I'm gonna use them in a rap. Like, do your research for those characters. I mean, it's easy. It's real easy. They tell the stories and everything about those characters.
Yeah. Just take a few minutes to play the game. But I think the more serious thing here is, I feel like Nicki what she's reaping is the repercussions of Sheether. And that one song, nobody was questioning Nicki Minaj until Sheether came out. And then they were like, oh, snap. Remy really got to Nicki. She just destroyed her. And then Nicki came back and rhymed China with China 5 times. And then everybody's like, look, I think it might be over for Nicki. I think it might be over. Then she drops Chung Lee, and everybody's like, okay, this beat is pretty good. And then you get to the end of the song. What does this have to do with Chung Lee? Like, really, Remy Ma has basically destroyed Nicki Minaj, and then to see Cardi B.
Yeah.
Cardi B on the rise that she's on is just further like pushing her further and further down that female rap totem pole. And it's just sad to see. It's sad to see. But an up and coming rapper, female rapper in the game is the woman who did the feminist version of This Is America. What's this girl's name? She's a Canadian actress. Oh, and comedian. Nicole Arbor.
Okay.
Nicole Arbor. Okay. Words are difficult sometimes. So she did a parody of This Is America, really trying to point out some of the things that women go through. And in some of them, you could tell that she was trying to directly mirror what Childish Gambino did with his version of This Is America. So, a couple of problems I have with it. Number one, you're a comedian and this is a parody. So it already makes it seem like you're making light of
the feminist movement.
Not just the feminist movement though, but also what Donald Glover was trying to talk about. And you're turning down the volume on the issue that he's raising. Also, you can basically make fun of his video and like, are you really bringing awareness to feminism?
I just feel like if Weird Al didn't do it, then you shouldn't be doing it.
When's the last time Weird Al made a record?
I'm just saying he ain't so far out the game to where he can't just come and do something.
True. My second issue is when you see This Is America, and first of all, you decide to take on the same title, so this is your fault that we're making this comparison. You see all the thought that Donald Glover put into every last scene and every last element of that video, including the dancing, including the fact that these people were dancing in the midst of all this chaos going behind them. It wasn't just we're doing some popular dances. No, there was a message even behind those children dancing when that stuff was going on behind them. And so to see that and then to see what you did, and if I was assuming that, you put as much thought into your video as Donald Glover did, then I can't even assume that. It was trash. First of all, you don't even have a good representation of the different types of women in your video. Second of all, you have a random tap dancing segment of the video. You're just randomly tap dancing. Like, it's almost like this is an audition tape that you're doing. Like, it's random tap dancing, and it's just okay. It's just okay. And then on top of that, and this was something that I didn't notice when I first saw it, but when reading the articles, I kind of went back. Every time she was showing a woman getting taken advantage of or harmed in any way, it was a minority male doing it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was a minority male doing it. Like there was not a white male doing anything, and I was like, that's very interesting. And so if I'm going to assume that you put the same thought into your video that Childish Gambino put into his, then I'm going to assume that was for a purpose. And so you completely deserve the dragging that Twitter is currently giving you.
Oh wow! I don't know what to say about that. That's just,
That's messed up.
Yep, that about sums it up.
Yeah, and that and the song's just not good. Get your bars up before you do a parody. Finally, in talking about the consequences and repercussions, this was one that we just added to our list because it's kind of real. The NFL teams, the league have made a decision on the national anthems and how the teams and players are to respond to that. So they have two options now. They can either remain in the locker room while the national anthem is played, or they can come out on the field when the national anthem is played. However, if they come out on the field, they are not allowed to kneel. If they kneel, then they will be fined. And I want to say that it's also a penalty. I think it's a penalty too.
What?
I'm checking.
Like, how you call a penalty before the game starts?
Unnecessary kneeling during the national anthem. Illegal formation. Number 37, 25, 98.
Like, see,
kneeing
that
during
right
the national anthem.
that is just taking it too far. Like, how is that even a penalty? Like, I understand that you want to find the players. Okay, whatever. But to make it a penalty?
Okay, I was wrong. It's not a penalty. They'll
Okay.
just get fined.
Okay.
They'll just get fined.
Okay, because I was like a penalty is just like, what are y'all thinking?
Yeah,
It's not even that's not even a part of the game. Like, that's not a part of the gameplay experience. Because I can tell you right now, in Madden, like the new Madden games, they don't have the national anthem in that.
Wait a minute. But John Madden, if you put that in the game, I'm going to go back to buying the Madden games. Because first of all, I stopped buying them because I'm like, I'm buying the same game over and over again. Nothing's changing but the rosters. And my favorite team is the Cowboys, so that wasn't changing much anyway. So if you do the national anthem before the games and you give the option to kneel during the national anthem, John Madden, you're going to be the GOAT. If you do that, that's just going to be that's going to be the bomb right there. You know, like when you do your own little season, it's just you control that one player. I forgot what it's called now. But like that joke would be fire. If you can say stay in the tunnel for the national anthem. Come out for the national anthem.
Is it like the franchise?
Yeah.
The franchise yeah.
Something like that, yeah. Like that would be hilarious. Oh man, now I'm really hoping that he does it. I don't think he would do it.
I don't
the
think
NFL would take away his licensure. Like they were like, "Nah, you can't use our teams."
How?
Because they have control over the shield and all of that, and so
like you can't find the game. Like you gotta take it all away.
Yeah, I mean, look, they did it to college football.
Yeah.
See, they did that just to college football.
That was messed up too.
It was. I miss college football, the video game. That was the bomb. But one of my main issues with this is like now the protest is gone. The protest is gone. The part that would make people uncomfortable and keep people talking about the issue has now been removed with this rule. Like, no, you need to be able to see that there are people who do not agree with how black and brown people are treated in America. Not just that, because here's the thing, it wasn't just a black and brown thing. It was about, he mentioned how veterans were treated when they came back, how a lot of them don't have health care, how a lot of them come back to poverty. You know, so that's something that was also on his list of things that he was covering. So that's one of those things where it's like, you are really silencing the voice, and that's inappropriate. Steve Kerr spoke out against this. It's basically saying that that just shows you what the NFL is about. The NFL trying to please the owners and aren't really for the fans. And he was just saying like he's happy that he's in a league where people they can the players are allowed to express themselves, because even when the Clippers had that thing going on with them and they all wanted to wear their jerseys or their stuff inside out, they didn't want to have anything that said Rockets. What team was it? No, Clippers on it, or LA. They wore like practice uniforms or something like that. They didn't get fined for that.
Oh wow. They
didn't get fined for that. They threw their stuff in the middle of the floor. Like it was like, I'm just saying, like they made some pretty big moves, some pretty bold moves, and the NFL has just always been little petty about little statements. And if you don't think we're telling the truth, the whole breast cancer thing.
Yeah.
Like, they're only allowed to wear those pink accessories during October. Because what was it? D'Angelo Williams wanted to paint his fingernails pink for his mother outside of and then they were saying they would fine him.
I think he was wearing, he
was
wanted to wear something pink.
Yeah.
And it was for his mom, and it was like, granted, I don't think his mom, it wasn't October, because I mean you can't control when somebody's mom passes away or anything like that.
You can't control when someone is emotional about breast
Right,
cancer and when someone wants to give awareness to breast cancer.
You can't limit that to a month. I mean, I get that we observe that in the month of October, but at the same time, like if somebody is dealing with the loss of a family member to breast cancer and stuff like that, like you can't tell them, oh, you're only allowed to grieve and to represent that person in October. You can only pay tribute to that person in October. Like, no, that's my mama. I'm gonna pay tribute to her whenever I want to, and if I gotta pay the fine, I'll pay the fine. But like that is bogus. That's a downright bogus move for the NFL to do that.
It really is, and Roger Goodell has been bogus. And so, to all you players, you matter of fact, don't take a knee, take a squat, then take a dump, then pick it up and throw it right in his face, just for us, So
You telling these folk to Tim Horton this?
yes, Tim Horton that trick. Go to Roger Goodell. Yeah. Yeah, grab that napkin, grab some grass. Make sure you wipe afterwards. But yeah, so that was the main squeeze this week. So, Tim, it is time for you to tell us who has the juice this week.
Okay, so staying in the area of football players, the juice of the week goes out to defensive end for the Houston Texans, J.J. Watt. He has notified the people that he will be paying for the funerals of the 10 people that died during the Santa Fe High School shooting. And I feel like that is a huge step. That's definitely some positive light that is being given not only to J.J. Watt, but also to the NFL because he's being generous and kind enough to do something like that. I know a lot of people have they end up having those problems when they're trying to plan for funerals, and especially when this was something that happened just all of a sudden. A lot of people don't usually make plans for something like that to happen. How can you? But my heart goes out to those that were affected by the Santa Fe shooting.
Yeah.
And my prayers are with you, and I pray for your healing. But for J.J. Watt, I just have to give some shine to him and let him know, like that is an awesome move. So J.J. Watt,
You got the juice now, man.
And now it's time for your favorite part of the week, the problematic top 5. Oh, so this week, since we were all taken off guard by the pushing in the mud of Morgan Freeman's name and the sexual assault allegations, we have decided to give you the top 5 people who will probably be charged with some type of sexual assault in the future, just so that way you aren't as shocked as we were. Let's get it.
number 5, Samuel L. Jackson. That's right. This guy will probably be the next person you hear about. Not only will he be known for juice, but he'll be known for releasing his snake.
Oh. What?
Off the plane.
I was not. Wait a minute. I was not ready for that joke. What?
The women weren't ready either.
his voice is so aggressive. He would have been the next one. I would have expected, not Morgan Freeman. What? Very tough. Number 4. Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World. That's right. No old man follows 3 teens around for that long without wanting a little play from them. You know, like I watched you grow from a little child, Topanga. Now you're married to Corey, Topanga. All that advice I gave you, Topanga. You know, it's time for you to give Mr. Feeney a little bit of Topanga. Topanga, I want to bang you.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, no. Number 3, Dick Van Dyke. Enough said. I don't know what to tell you. Just throwing it out there. You're shocked? So am I. Dick Van Dyke.
Number 2. Mickey Mouse. Yes, that's right. We're going into the world of animation because Mickey has some questionable things going on. You walking around here with no shirt on, and then you got this sex slave of a dog, Pluto. That's the only reason why he walking around naked with a leash. He's your Mr. Slave in this jazz. And then Mickey apparently has a thing for ducks because none of the ducks wear pants in all of the shows.
Oh, no.
Donald don't got no pants on. He out there doing Donald wrong. He raw dogging Donald in this thing. And then Daisy got a dress but no drawers. What's going on? You gave many drawers. Why can't Daisy get drawers? Oh.
He be kicking folk out the house and singing this song. Now it's time to say goodbye to all our company. MIT. See you real soon. K-Y. Why? Because I like you. It's doing everybody wrong.
What? Look, I started this. You just took it on a whole other. That's why the Mickey Mouse Club was all children. Not one adult in the Mickey Mouse Club.
Oh, no.
Oh my goodness. Mickey Mouse is the Robert Kelly of animated.
Step in the name of love, boys and girls. Don't act brand new. Disney been doing some messed up stuff
For the longest.
Like don't act brand new about that. All right, and number 1, James Earl Jones. That's right, Darth Vader, aka King Jeffrey Joffrey. BKA Mufasa. That's right. James Earl Jones. All up in there like, and let somebody snitch on him. You deliberately disobeyed me. And what's worse? All up in the courtroom. Brother, help me. Be in the casting room with his Darth Vader voice on. I find your lack of nakedness to be disturbing. Come over to the dark side. be in the courtroom, be like, his lawyer be like, Judge, can we have a recess? Like, recess? We've been waiting so long. He just then let them wait. I'm talking to my son.
Oh, gotta cut that just short. So those. That was the problematic top 5 of the week, y'all. BK is on the floor right now. Oh my goodness. We want to thank you all for rocking with us here on Banana Juice. It's your boy Timo with the dance moves.
And it's Tim, the popcorn player.
Banana Juice.
Out.
Cut up the